Hello guys and welcome to another track guide video, and today we got Nürburgring Nordschleife and I decided to go with this GTR. I mean, you can use a couple of other cars like the Viper, or I even saw Genesis right here. I mean, pretty much any car you take in Group 4 except for the front wheel drive cars, you're gonna be pretty good about this track. And yeah, I'm not gonna explain every single corner, I'm just gonna skip a couple of those because this video would take literally half an hour, so I'll just try to keep it short and on point. So that's pretty much about it. Without further ado, let's get going. Let's get going with this track guide video, and the first one and the first reference point is here on the right. So I tried to brake a little bit before. I mean, with some cars you can try to brake a little bit later. It always depends on which car you're using. So here, second gear as early as you possibly can in second gear on the way out. Third gear, it's a little bit later, so it's not in third gear like on some other trucks. Here I don't really have a pointer, but it's a pretty straightforward corner. I mean, in fifth gear you don't have to think about that much. So here I'm looking at those little kind of patches on the road. So when I see that patch, I kind of go and straight line brake. So I'm trying to get the car in shape, and I try to always get the straight line braking. So a little bit of braking before and then a little bit of that later. So as you can see, just a little bit of that power down, and also I'm trying to kind of compensate on that stability. Just a little bit of braking, a little bit of power when I see that, but not more than 25% on the brakes. And that's what I always try to apply here. So 25-30 as you're approaching this corner, and then just when I see the exit of that corner, I just go flat out on on the gas pedal and just trying to get most out of that corner. Here I'm using the reference on the left, and you'll be kind of, I think, a little, yeah, I think around when you get about 50% off the throttle, you'll be okay. I think I've reduced my, I think I lost a bit of speed there. I think it was a little too much on there, but I mean, if you completely lift, it's not going to make that much of a difference. But here I'm looking at that sign on the right, turning in at that point, and just again half lift, pretty much about 50% off the throttle pedal, and you're going to be okay. So looking at the end of the curve right there, straight line once again. A bit before is kind of okay, but I tried braking as late as I could to get a sub 7 minute here. I would say 50% into the corner, I think it's okay to put the power down, but it's always going to be different. It's always a different line through there, and you're just trying to get the best possible line out of the corner, because then you will carry the speed all the way to this point. So I'm also using this point and not applying more than, let's say, 35-40% on the brakes, because this is the way to go here. So not really breaking down the speed of the car. So that's really something that you should really try to think about once you're doing it. So using a lot of references but not braking the car too much. So you're trying to carry the speed all the way around the circuit. So if you brake too much in one corner and the speed, you're just not going to be able to carry the speed all the way around the circuit. But here I try to put the power down in second, and when I get out of that corner, I'm in third. So every time it's going to be a little bit different. Every corner is slightly different. You can really experiment with the gears, but here just a little bit of braking just to carry that speed around the section without lifting too long, and you will see the end of the curve right there. Brake in the straight line. So it's a little curve, and I mean, sometimes it's kind of hard to see, but I'm not trying to brake too much into the turns. I'm not trail braking that much, and I'm getting early on the power, because in third gear it's very easy to get that little rotation, and that little rotation that you get is kind of nice in some corners, especially slower ones. So again, I'm using the reference there on the left, but as I'm trying to turn in, I'm kind of trying to not trail brake, as I said before, not trail brake as much as with Group 3 and some Group 4 cars, but you're always trying to carry the most speed out of certain corners. So here, once again, we are looking at the curb, and just a tap on the brakes. As I said before, nothing much, maybe 25-30% is just about enough, but very, very shortly, for maybe about a half a second, not even more than that. So here, I don't really have a reference, but I'm using this tree. So tree is a pretty good reference, and you should apply the brakes once you get very, very close to it. I didn't really attack this corner or section whatever you want to call it, but I got down in second, waited a little bit, and then got in second gear on the gas pedal. 100% straight on, no waiting, no that little gradual throttle, nothing, just go flat out. You will see that Group 4 cars really handle that well. So end of the curb once again, brake a little bit. I try to brake a little bit later than the end of the curb, but it's always different. It's always different. I mean, it's very hard to explain that stuff, but it's always that little fraction of a second early or late. But again, end of the curb right there, 50% on the brakes. I think I outbraked the car here. And before the apex, you want to start accelerating before the apex, and I think it's gonna help you kind of get more speed onto this little straight. I mean, it's not a very long straight, but it's also one of those things, and it's just so important to carry the speed around the circuit. Yokohama sign right there, another reference point, and you want to brake straight, but not for a long time. So I'm braking maybe for a second and a half, maybe even more than that, but it's all about carrying the speed and not trail braking that much into that turn. And of course, I'm gonna fast forward this section because there is really nothing much you can do here except hold the throttle pedal as firm as you possibly can. But here, okay, this was the corner that I almost lost this lap. I mean, it's very important that you do it properly, otherwise it's gonna be, yeah, it's really a game changer, and it's sometimes so easy to get off the track. But I carry the speed. Even if you get one tire off the track, you're gonna be able to carry the speed because the car has the momentum. But if you stop it too much, you're gonna lose a lot of time. So it's always kind of that gamble what line that you want to take. But again, looking at the curbs, yeah, curbs are here, the ones that are gonna help you, you know, get around the circuit. But if you're gonna analyze this video, if you're gonna analyze every move that I make on this, you know, in this video, you'll be able to kind of see the pattern that I always try to get to. But again, I'm looking at the curb and kind of this little section, and yeah, just straight in. You want to go straight into this little carousel. Second gear, I'm staying in second, I'm not upshifting into third, and I'm not really going through the carousel. I'm just trying to get one wheel on this flat surface and one on the carousel. So actually two wheels, you know, two wheels and two wheels, you know, left and right. I think you got what I wanted to say. But again, here I'm using the curb, and just before the curb I tap the brakes slightly, because if you turn in and get on the brakes, the back of the car might get loose, and then you're in trouble. Then it's hard to control the car. But if you do it early, you're gonna be okay. You're just gonna carry more speed and get stability out of the car. But again, you can see the reference. I tried taking the corner a little bit too narrow. I think it should be done a little bit later, but it was all good. I mean, I carried the speed and it was pretty much all good. Here, looking the curb, and once again I tried to brake a little bit here before this curb, and then on the power, and do not lift. Just go over those little curbs, cut the track as much as you can, and of course as much as the car allows, and aim for this point. So this is the point that usually gives you, I would say, 2 to 3 tenths if you do it properly. I had a little bit of a slide, and again I almost lost it. It was very, very tough section. I tried putting, you know, just carrying the speed and taking the most out of this section. And once again, third gear, don't stay too long on the brakes, just a little bit on the brakes, and then quickly in third gear, just smashing the power down. Once again, I'm looking at the curb, and then again doing the same strategy, just a little on the brakes, and you know, just letting the car do the turn. Not really that much focusing on the brake and trail braking on the Nordschleife, but about really getting on the power quickly and trail braking, and also getting to about 50% on the brakes. That's crucial. That's really, really crucial here. And here, this is my only reference, and again I have to say, do not brake too long. So you don't have to brake that long, and not even that hard. So at about 20-25% should be enough. I broke at about 30, 35, 40, which was okay, but you can carry more speed if you brake less. The car can handle that pressure. And once again here, I'm just gonna lift a little bit, and I'm gonna coast through this section, because if you start getting on the power too quickly, you will get the understeer. But if you stay on the brakes, again, you will get a lot of understeer. So just keep that in mind. So you just want to stay on the brakes a little bit and then let the car do the turn and coast for a while. Something like that is even going to happen here. Looking at the marshal, brake, and then I'm just trail braking a little bit, coasting quickly on the power, getting to as much as I can on this right side of the track. I think this kind of helped me in this section, but it's always difficult to, you know, kind of, you're always in a different situation. It's not going to be the same every single time. So yeah, just keep in mind that, and also carry the speed without braking too much. That's all about there is to it, this track. So 50% on the brakes, turn in, and quickly, very, very quickly on the power. And you can see I got a very good exit out of this one, and it was pretty decent even in this section. So I'm just gonna slow it down, because it's just a little lift, and tap on the brakes as you get in. And I'm always trying to stay as close as I can to this right side of the track, and you know, I just maximizing the track limits there. You know, it's pretty strict. I mean, not really strict, but you will lose it if you don't, you know, if you don't follow every single rule this the circuit has. You're just gonna lose it. And that's pretty much about it. And yeah, this was what I was afraid. Curb a little bit later than the curb, and I was always afraid of losing the back here. So I just took it a little bit easier. Going over the curb, I didn't downshift into second. I stayed in third, and I just waited until I got onto this section. Get on the brakes, get in second. You will get so much rotation. If you want, you can stay in third. It's not going to be that much of a difference, but I thought about it. Yeah, I just gave it a shot.
More than 3/10. Come on.
It was a sub 6:59.549, and I was very happy with this lap. But guys, I hope I didn't make this a little too long, and I hope I helped you with this daily race seat this week. So once again, thank you very much for watching this video, and please smash that like button if you can. Once again, see you next time. Bye. Okay. I mean, if I can keep it up like this, I'm gonna get it. But I'm just I'm just a minute and a half in, so. Okay. I'm still in front, and that's a decent lead there. That's more than 3/10, but okay. Okay, okay, that's a huge lead. Sixth gear, I got literally like one section. Yeah, that's more than 3/10. That's definitely more than 3/10. That's more than 3/10. Come on. 59.5.